If you like our video, click the button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides, visit us at www.teachucomp.com. The Clone Stamp tool in Photoshop lets you sample pixels in a raster layer, which you can then clone into another raster layer or into a different section of the same raster layer. You can clone the selected pixels into either the same Photoshop document or into another open Photoshop document as needed. Each stroke of the tool paints more of the sample pixels you selected. To use the Clone Stamp tool in Photoshop, click the Clone Stamp tool button in the Tools panel. This tool shares the same button as the Pattern Stamp tool, and the button shows the icon of the tool last selected. So, if needed, click and hold down on this button in the Tools panel, and then select Clone Stamp Tool from the side menu that appears to select it. Optionally, to show a drop-down menu of saved tool presets from which you can choose if you created any for the selected tool, click the Click to open the Tool Preset Picker button at the left end of the Options bar control panel and select a saved preset choice. To change the brush settings of the Clone Stamp tool after selecting it in Photoshop, click the Click to open the Brush Preset Picker drop-down button in the Options bar control panel to show a drop-down menu of brush options. These are the same options as when setting brush options for the brush tool, as discussed in the earlier lesson titled How to Use the Brush Tool in Photoshop, so we will not review them all here for brevity's sake. To show or hide the Brush Settings panel, click the Toggle the Brush Settings panel button in the Options bar control panel. You can set options for the Clone Stamp tool here as discussed in the earlier lesson titled How to Use the Brush Settings panel in Photoshop. The Mode, Opacity, Pen or Tablet Opacity Pressure Toggle button, Flow, and Airbrush toggle button in the Options bar control panel also all work the same way as when using the brush tool, as discussed in the earlier lesson titled How to Use the Brush Tool in Photoshop. To set the brush angle, if you didn't set it within the Brush Preset Picker panel, enter it into the Set the Brush Angle field in the Options bar control panel. To use the same offset for each stroke you apply with the Clone Stamp tool, check the Aligned checkbox in the Options bar control panel. To choose the layers to use for sampling pixels, select a choice from the Sample dropdown in the Options bar control panel. To ignore adjustment layers when cloning, if you select a choice other than Current Layer from the Sample dropdown, click the Turn On to ignore adjustment layers when cloning button in the Options bar control panel. To toggle using pen pressure for size on or off, click the Always Use Pressure for Size when off Brush Preset Controls Pressure button at the end of the Options bar control panel. To select the pixels to sample, then select the desired layer in the Layers panel as needed within the Photoshop document. Then hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and click the area to use as the reference point for the pixels to copy to another location. Then release the Alt key. Next, switch to the Photoshop document into which to copy the sample pixels if needed, and select the desired raster layer in it as needed. Then click and drag, or simply click with the Clone Stamp tool in the area to which to paste the pixels you just copied. As you click and drag, you paste the pixels from the selected area to the new area, recreating a clone of the originally sampled area in a new location. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. See our full suite of courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides at www.teachucomp.com.